Well, uh, thank you for coming to Tuesday night slow flow yoga. I'm going to stand a little close so for sure you can hear me. As I mentioned, we're going to do a breathing exercise at the beginning. Um, so I'll show you how it goes. Um, and it's called alternate breathing. So the things that why I really want to share it is that when I first time I did it, I just felt this calm come over my body, and it also helps connect the different sides of our body together. So you'll take your hand and you'll bend the first two fingers. I'm not doing a super great job. It'll be your thumb and then your ring finger and your pinky finger. And then you'll face your hand to you. So I'll do first do. So it's called alternate breathing. So breathe in through both nostrils, then close the right, breathe out the left. Then breathe in the left and then breathe in the left. Then close the left, breathe out the right. Breathe in the right. Okay, so now we'll do it all together. And I see Susan that's going to be joining us. I'm going to need her. Okay, so we'll do this all together. We'll do it 5 times through. So breathe in, close the right nostril, out the left. In the left, close the left, out the right. In the right, close the right, out the left. In the left, out the right. In the right, close, out the left. In the left, out the right. In the right, close the right, out the left. In the left, out the right. In the right, out the left. In the left, out the right. Last time. In the right, out the left. In the left, and out the right. Go ahead and close your eyes and place your hands somewhere on your lap. And just take a few breaths on your own and see how your body feels. And also paying attention to our natural breathing, to our inhales and our exhales. So I'm going to unmute. I'm going to unmute who I can unmute. And I like to start class with one Om. Bring your hands to heart center. And we'll take a big breath in. Out. Inhale. From wherever you are, arms up to the ceiling. I think you're all seated. Great. So then exhale. You'll bring your left hand in front and your right hand behind for a twist. And you'll look over your right shoulder. And on your inhale, you'll straighten your spine. Yeah, great. And Marie. And on your exhale, you'll twist. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, twist. Then on your next inhale, turn toward the front of the room, arms overhead. Exhale, your right hand in front and your left behind, looking over your left shoulder. And again, on your breathing, on your inhales, extending your spine. Yeah, nice, Jen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, extend. Exhale, twist. And then come back to center, and you'll roll over to hands and knees, coming to puppy pose. So keep your hips are over your knees, extending your arms out like a downward facing dog. And just your forehead will come to the mat, keeping your elbows off the mat, feeling that extension in your spine. And then have your big toes touch and spread your knees apart for child's pose. And know that child's pose is always available to you as we move through the practice tonight. And in this pose, we also pay attention to our breathing, feeling the ribs expand on the inhale and to feel that dissolve on the exhale. So we'll inhale together, exhale. And then come up to all fours and we'll do a round of cat and cow. First, we'll start with cow. On your inhale, you'll tip your pelvis down and your forehead up. Yeah, great. Shoulders to your back. Cat pose. Push the floor away, arch your back. Cow on your inhale. Exhale, cat. We'll do one more round. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. And then come to a neutral spine and look over your right shoulder towards your right hip. And then look over your left shoulder to your left hip. And right shoulder, right hip. And left shoulder, left hip. And then bring your right arm up to the ceiling and we'll thread the needle, bringing that right hand behind the left wrist and our right shoulder and right ear to the mat. You can walk your left hand up the mat if you want. And on the inhale, push into that left hand. Bring that right arm back up to the ceiling and plant the right hand next to the left on your mat. And then we'll do it on the other side. Bringing the left arm up to the ceiling and on your exhale to thread that arm, your left ear and your left shoulder to the mat. And you can walk your right hand up your mat if you want. And on your next inhale, push down into your right hand. Bring your left arm back up to the ceiling and plant that left hand next to your right. And then we're going to do tiger pose. You'll bring your left arm straight forward, your right leg straight back, really pushing that heel to the back of the room, feeling that core engage. And then we're going to bring our left elbow to our right knee. And then extend back out. And then bring that left hand and right knee back to the mat. Feel that stability of all limbs on the mat, and we'll do it on the other side. Right arm straight out, left leg straight back. Feeling that extension through your arm and your leg, that engagement of your core. And then bring your right elbow to your left knee. Hug that all in. Extend your right arm and your left leg straight out. And then bring that right hand and left knee back to the mat. And then tuck your toes under, lift your hips up for downward facing dog. Yeah, and you can walk your dog out, or I like to bend my knees. Really pushing those hands into the mat. Yeah, nice, Anne-Marie. And then walk your hands back to your feet. And ragdoll forward fold. You'll bring your feet to hip distance. Yeah, and grabbing your opposite elbows. Really letting that upper body drape over your thighs. Yeah, and you can swing from side to side if you like. And on your inhale, bring your arms up to the ceiling, extended mountain pose. Exhale, hands to the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, heart forward, straight back. Really nice, you guys. Exhale, walk your hands back up the mat to downward facing dog. Yeah, and your drishti is at the back of the mat, looking at one point. I also like to check my feet, that the edges of my feet are parallel to the sides of the mat. Inhale, exhale, then step to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, extended mountain pose. Just be a gigantic, tall version of yourself. Nice. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step your left foot back and you'll come into warrior one. I'm never on my mat. Anyway, I'll try to do, okay. Yeah, warrior one. So you're bending that front knee and you're really planting that back foot, the pinky toe side. And bringing your shoulders back, extending your side bodies. And then bring your hands to the mat, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Step your right foot back, warrior one. Yeah, arms up to the ceiling. Trying to bring that left hip back a little bit. Bringing that, thigh bone back to your hip. Extending your side bodies. Wonderful. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, extended mountain pose. Arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And then lower your hips down for chair pose. Yeah, so your big toes will touch, your heels apart, like you're sitting back in a chair. Bringing your shoulders back, and yet your front ribs are knitting together. And then exhale, hands to the mat. And then step back to a high plank. Bring your knees down. You'll be in a kneeling plank. And then you'll lower all the way down. Come up to a cobra. And then back to downward facing dog. And you might want to explore with having your feet at the edges of your mat, just having a wider dog than normal. And maybe even having your baby fingertips, your pinky fingers hanging off the mat. And then bring your left knee down to the mat. And you'll step your right foot between your hands. And you'll come up to a version of crescent pose. Yeah, really rooting down through everything that's touching the mat, extending out through your side bodies, through your arms. And then exhale, bring your hands to the mat. You'll tuck your back toes under and then step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Then you'll just bring that right knee back and flatten that back foot, your right foot, and your arms up, version of crescent pose. Yeah, you can push your hips forward a little bit if you like, extending through your side body, maybe getting a little bit of a stretch through the psoas, and connecting with your breathing. And bring your hands to the mat, and you'll bring your left knee back. Walk your hands out on up just a hand distance up the mat, and you're coming into a kneeling plank again. You'll lower all the way down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, come back to downward facing dog. And then bring your right foot, or you can help it, come to your right thumb, and we'll come into warrior one. And then on your exhale, you'll open that up to warrior two. I need to turn myself around. Yeah, you'll keep that front knee bent. You can explore with turning your palms so they face the ceiling, really spreading out your back, looking over that front hand. And then reverse warrior. You'll bring that right hand up to the ceiling. Your left hand can travel down your leg, and you're extending through both sides of your body, the left side as well as the right. You can look up at that top hand. And then on your next exhale, you'll bring your right elbow to your right knee for side angle pose. And you can have your hand go straight up to the ceiling and look at that hand. Yeah. Or you can also do extended side angle where that hand comes past your ear. You're stretching from the edge of the left foot all the way through your body. And then on your next exhale, bring your hands to the mat. You'll step back to a kneeling plank, or if you want to do the full chaturanga, you're welcome to. And then lower down to cobra on your inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then bring your left foot to your left hand. Help it. Warrior one. Yeah, really grounding down into the four corners of both feet. On your next exhale, open that up to warrior two. You'll have your left hand in front and your right behind. And check that that back hand is at the same elevation. Yeah, nice. And Marie. And you can flip your palms up and really spread your back and your chest, taking up as much space as you can. On your next inhale, reverse warrior. Left hand up to the ceiling and your right hand travel down your hamstring, your right hamstring. And then on your next exhale, side angle pose. Your left elbow to your left knee, right arm up to the ceiling. You can look up at that hand, and you can also do extended side angle where that arm goes over your ear, and rotating your hand so your pinky is on the bottom, closer to the floor. And connecting with your breathing. On your next exhale, bring your hands to the mat and step back to a plank. Bring your knees down, lower down to a low plank. Upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog, or yeah, you're welcome to be in puppy pose or child's pose. And then bring your right foot forward for a lunge. You'll keep your left hand on the mat and you'll open up for a twist. With your right arm, you can look up at that right hand if you want. And then you'll windmill your arms around, come into warrior two. With your right hand in front, and your left behind. Straighten your front knee, bring your hips to the back, Trikonasana. You'll stretch to the front of the room. You can bring your hand to your shin, or if you have a block or a box or something behind, bringing your hips to the side of the room, opening up your chest. Let that top hand bring you back up. You'll have your feet come to parallel to the short edges of your mat. And what we're going to do is called star pose. So we're going to make ourselves into a huge X, really extending our arms out. And you can do a small arch in your back, looking up at the ceiling possibly, but engaging your core, bringing your belly button to your spine. And then on your exhale, go ahead and fold forward for a wide-legged side-facing straddle. And your weight is in the balls of your feet. And you can grab your big toes if your hands easily come to the mat, and use that to help fold you forward. And then bring your hands to your hips, your elbows pointing up with a straight back, coming back on up. You'll point your right foot to the front of the mat, and then you'll come back onto the ball of the left foot, and bring your hands to the mat. And we'll do a little flow here. On your exhale, you'll bend your front knee, and on your inhale, you straighten your knee. And I usually really feel my hamstring here. So on your exhale, bring your knee forward. On your inhale, straighten that front knee. Exhale, knee forward. Inhale, straighten that front knee. And then go ahead and step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Step your right foot back, and you'll come into warrior two. Your left hand in front and your right behind, looking over that left hand. Straighten your left knee, bring your hips to the back, stretching to the front of your mat, Trikonasana, triangle pose. Bring that left hand to your calf, your left arm up to the ceiling. And you can look up at that top hand. And let that top hand bring you back up. Bring your feet so they're parallel to the short edges of your mat. Clasp your hands behind your back. And draw your the clasped hands back, opening up your chest. You might look at the ceiling. Yeah, nice opening. And then fold forward. You can keep your hands bound if you want, or you can let your hands come to the mat. Yeah, I love just being able to open up the chest. I know I'm hunched over computer, or it seems like I'm hunched over quite a bit during my day. And then Bring your hands back up to your hips, elbows pointing to the ceiling with a straight back. Come on, back up. Point your left toes to the front of the mat. Bring your right heel off the mat. And then you'll frame your left foot with your hands. And we'll do that flow again. Where on our exhale, our knee will be bent. On the inhale, we'll straighten the front knee. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. We'll do one more time. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. And then step to the front of the mat. Come up to extended mountain pose. We'll do some balancing poses. So if you want to be near a wall, you're welcome to do that. So we'll start with eagle pose. You'll bring your left elbow under your right, and you can have your hands on your shoulders, or you can wrap your wrists. Sit down, bring your right knee over your left, and you can keep that foot down on the mat as a kickstand, or you can try to wrap it. Yeah, engaging your core and your breathing and a soft gaze through a difficult pose. Inhale, arms up, extended mountain pose. Yeah, great presence, you guys. Eagle on the left. Bring your left elbow under. And then sit down, sit back, bring your left knee over. And you can have that left foot as a kickstand, or you can wrap it. Yeah, bringing your belly button to your spine, having the top of your pelvis lifting up while your tailbone descends. Inhale, extended mountain pose. All right, you guys did such a nice job. We'll do it again. Eagle on the right, the right elbow under, and then sitting back and your right knee over. Yeah, finding calm in your breath and a soft gaze at one point. Inhale, extended mountain pose. Then eagle on the left, left elbow under and left knee over. Bringing your shoulders back, extending your side bodies. Inhale, extended mountain pose. And then we'll do dancer. Bring your right hand and you'll open it up and your thumb will go to the back of the room. And you'll clasp your right foot with your right hand. This is actually a really challenging pose for me, so I usually avoid it, but you gotta do the things you're avoiding. And yeah, you guys are already doing it, so good job. Yeah, kicking your hand into your foot. And moving forward. Yeah, really stretching out to the front of the room. One more breath. All right, extended mountain pose. Keeping your right arm up. Open up your left hand so the thumb will be to the back of your mat. Clasp that hand. clasp the foot with your hand. And yeah, if you can bring the knee so it's a little closer to the other knee. Yeah, nice. And then one more breath. All right, extended mountain pose. All right, we'll finish up with tree pose. Bring your hands to heart center. Bring your right foot to your inner left leg. Yeah, and you're welcome to open up your branches whenever you want. Again, engaging your core. Bringing your shoulders back, your chest up a little. Bring your hands to heart center and your right foot to meet your left. And then ground down into your right side. Bring your left foot to your inner right leg. And yeah, you can do cactus arms or you can grow your branches whenever you want. Yeah, really grounding down into that right foot. And opening your side bodies and your shoulders back. And then hands to the mat, hands to the heart, foot to the mat. All right. So we'll make our way down to the floor. Inhale, extended mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to a high plank. Bring your knees down and then lower all the way down. Bring your hands to your side. Turn a cheek to a side. And just relax. And then we're actually going to walk our hands up to Sphinx pose. Your elbows are under your shoulders. And you're pushing into your pelvis, bringing your chest through that space between your forearms. And then go ahead and make a pillow out of your forearms and bring your forehead to your forearms. And then you'll come back into Sphinx pose again, walking your elbows under your shoulders and bringing your chest through, pushing into your pelvis. And then you can relax that a little bit. We're going to turn this into a version of side angle pose. So you're going to bring your your left hand to a 45 degrees, so it's almost touching your your right hand. And then you're going to roll over to your left hip. Bring your right foot so it comes up the mat and is pointing to the side of your mat. And then you'll bring your right arm up to the ceiling. You'll push into the 3 points of your body and you'll come into a side plank. Pushing into your left elbow, your side of your left foot, and your right foot. Yeah, really opening up. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and lower everything down. Bring that foot back. Make that pillow with your forearms again. And then we're going to do that on the other side. first coming into Sphinx pose, walking your elbows so they're under your shoulders, pushing into your pelvis, bringing your chest through that space between your forearms. And then release that a little bit. Bring your right hand so it almost touches your left hand. Roll over to your right hip. Bring your left foot partway up the mat, pointing to the edge. You'll ground into your right foot, your right elbow, and your left foot, lifting your hips up for side angle pose. You're really extending through your chest, pushing into those 3 points of contact. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, go ahead and lower that down. Then bring your hands alongside your body. And you can have your forehead to the mat. We'll come into locust pose. So on your inhale, lifting your chest off the mat, your feet off the mat. Get your hands off, your arms off the mat. One more inhale, and then lower that all down. You can turn a cheek to a side. Do one more locust. On your inhale, peeling your chest off the mat, your arms and legs off the mat. Yeah, hugging everything in. And then go ahead and let that go. Turn your other cheek to a side. And then bow pose. You'll bend your knees, and we're going to do 2 of them. So you can do 1 at a time or do 2 times 2. So clasp your feet with your hands, and then you'll kick your hands into your feet, lifting your chest off the mat, bring your shoulders back, extending your side bodies, and then go ahead and let that down. And then one more bow pose. Lifting your chest off the mat, kicking your hands into your feet, or your feet into your hands. Be in touch with your breathing. And then go ahead and lower that all down. You can keep your knees bent and windshield wiper your feet. And then we'll come into upward facing dog. You'll bring your hands down to your low ribs. You'll push into the top of your feet, into your hands. And you'll bring in your chest forward. Yeah, nice. Go ahead and bend your knees, and we'll come into puppy pose. Keeping your hips over your knees, walking your hands out on the mat, your forehead on the mat. And then however you want to get to lying on your back, and I can overthink it. Swing your feet to the side and then rolling onto your right hip is a way to do it. So you're going to come onto your back and setting up for bridge pose. Bringing your feet underneath your knees, your ankles underneath your knees. And then you'll tilt your pelvis up and one vertebrae at a time. Lift your spine off the mat. You can also clasp your hands underneath you and walk. Tuck your shoulders under. You're lifting your chest up toward the ceiling. And on your next exhale, go ahead and lower that all down. And we'll do one more bridge pose. You root down to rise up, pushing into the four corners of your feet and into your shoulders. You can, again, if you want to clasp your hands under your body. And then go ahead and lower that all down. And happy baby pose. Bring your knees toward your chest. You can grab your feet from the inside or the outside. Or, yeah, I like to just hold my knees too. Is also, yeah, you guys are all got rocking babies. Yeah, you can rock your baby. And then bring your knees to your chest. Go ahead and lower your feet back to the mat. Have the bottoms of your feet to meet for Supta Baddha Konasana. Your knees will open up. It's also called butterfly pose. Bring your left hand to your heart, your right hand to your belly. And then bring your knees back to your chest. And we'll roll on our spine 3 times. And we'll come into boat pose. But first we'll rock. I think you guys are ahead of me. 2. Okay, one more time. Okay, boat pose. You have your hand. Oh yeah, you guys are already like way beyond. Okay, so bringing your chest up. And then go ahead and cross your feet. And we're going to set up for pigeon. So you can do lying down pigeon or the version where you come from downward facing dog. And see what you guys are planning to do. Yeah, so bringing your right foot through, having that shin parallel to the front of the mat, your pelvis, hip bones square to the front of the mat. I like to tuck my toes under because I have sensitive knees, and then gently lowering your upper body down, walking your hands up the mat. And just be with your body and your breath. hands back up. And yeah, if you're on your back, you can switch out the order of your legs. And if you're in the regular pigeon, you can come into downward facing dog and then bring your left shin to parallel the front of the mat. You can tuck the toes of your right foot under to protect your knee. Squaring your hips to the front of the mat and walking your hands up past the edge of your mat. Yeah, I have a yoga instructor who she thinks like this is the best treat pose, and I think it's one of them that I struggle with. Just being with our body and our breath. Really just one of the best gifts that I've found. Go ahead and walk your hands back up and come to seated with your legs out on the mat. And bring your arms up overhead and fold forward. And wherever your hands land, they land. And if your cat's coming around to give you a little love, that's really sweet. And then come back up. Bring your right foot to the inside of your left leg. And your arms overhead. And you fold forward, looking towards your right foot. And then come back up to seated, and you're going to bring your right hand behind you. We're doing what's called stargazer pose. So you'll bring your left arm overhead, and you'll push into your left foot and your right knee and look toward the back of the room. Yeah, opening up your body, lifting your hips up. And then exhale, bring that back down. Switch out the order of your legs. Your right leg straight out, your left foot inside of your right leg, arms overhead, fold forward. And then come back up to seated. Bring your left hand behind, your right arm up to the ceiling, and you'll push down into your foot, lifting your hips up and into your knee, looking out to the back of the room, opening up your chest. And then exhale, lower that all down. And then I'm going to do an inversion of your choice. You can do hips on a block, or if you have a wall, you can do your legs up the wall. or just have your legs straight up. If you have your legs up the wall and you want to stay there for the last couple minutes, you're welcome to. And you can also, yeah, go ahead and lower your legs down. And we'll do a supine twist. Bring your right knee into your chest. And you'll keep it in your left hand, cross it over your body. Open your right arm out to the side, and you can look over that right hand. And then we'll switch out the order of the legs, lengthening the right leg on the mat. Bring your left knee into your chest, keeping it in your right hand and cross it over your body. You lengthen your left arm out and look over that left hand. And then go ahead and spread out on your mat for Shavasana. Take these couple of moments to have appreciation for yourself. And then go ahead and wiggle your fingers and your toes. And roll over to a comfortable side. And when you're ready, come to a seated position with your eyes closed. And we'll finish tonight's practice like we started it with one Om. So bring your hands to heart center. Take a big breath in. Oh, and I unmuted you all. So inhale. Bring your thumbs to forehead center. Thank you for sharing the beauty and the gift of your practice. It was an honor and a privilege. The light in me sees the light in you. Namaste.